This is Dan Tortora coming to you from Game Point Sports Complex, 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse, New York. The guy next to me you know all too well, Mr. Brandon Triche, has the most career wins in 4 years in Syracuse Orange men's basketball history. Take that, NCAA. We don't erase history. So there's Triche, myself, Dan Tortora. We're here with Who's Got Next from Wake Up Call, presented exclusively by Game Point Sports. How are you, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Great.
So you and I, we talk about a lot of different stuff over the years. I want to go somewhere I've never gone before. Favorite childhood memory playing basketball?
Favorite childhood memory? That's a tough one because I have so many memories, like good memories playing basketball. I was the youngest of 3 boys, so I remember just playing with my older brothers, which was super important for me. I like the fact that my dad made it super important that if my older brothers wanted to go to the park, then they had to bring their little brother. You know what I mean? So I can remember living on the south side of Syracuse, and my oldest brother wanted to go to Kirk Park, and he's like 12 at the time, I'm 5. And it's like, I want to go. Well, and then he's like pleading to my dad, like he's 5, like, what do you mean? Like, I don't feel like, babysitting him. And he's like, when we left the house, well, he had to take me. Okay. So once he left the house, we both had our bikes, and he's like, you better keep up. And that's kind of like how I went through my childhood, just keeping up with my older brothers.
So do you feel like that, like you better keep up, you better be able to pedal fast enough, you better stay with us, better be able to hold your own on the court? Do you feel like that like commanded you to be even better? Yeah,
because I was really advanced as a younger kid. A little bit stronger. I was doing stuff like independently. Yeah. Like even thinking about when I was 5 and 6, 7, I'm like riding my bike in the streets, like doing woolies and stuff like that. So I always wanted to be on the court with those guys. So there wasn't much of a, like, obviously my older brother being 7 years older, my oldest brother being 7 years older, there was a big gap. Yeah. But I had a brother that was only 4 years older. So I kind of caught up to those guys pretty fast. So by the time I was in 6th grade, it was like, okay, I'm even with guys that's in 9th and 10th grade.
So you go on and you win all these games at Syracuse. You go to the NCAA tournament. You're part of a great part of Syracuse history. And from there, you go and play professionally. So what do you want to say to your older brothers about the fact that, the young one, he did all right? He did all right.
I think they would take some credit, just from for grooming me. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So they knew that I was a little bit different from them. Obviously, my oldest brother didn't have nothing to go off of. My uncle did play, at Syracuse University, Howard Triche. Yeah. So he had my oldest brother, Melvin, Jr. He had influences from my uncle, my dad, and stuff like that. But he didn't have any like siblings to kind of like go off of. Now my middle brother, so my older brother is 6'4". My middle brother just so happened to be 5'8". So
same height as me, and you laughed when you said it. Nice trick.
So he was more into books, and how I can explain that is when it was time to go to the park and play, it's 4 o'clock. We all I'll go with my older brother, and then my middle brother name is Mikey. So we'd be like, Mikey, you come with us? Like, I gotta finish homework. And so that was the difference. He was the guy who kind of always finished his homework, and me and my older brother would lie and say, well, either we got it done or something. So he ended up graduating from Cornell. So it worked out.
So Melvin Jr. and Mikey.
Yeah.
Best thing that each of them individually taught you so far?
I think I just take the personalities from both. I think I'm a mixture of both. I think my oldest brother, his work ethic when it came to like the gym, because he was like, at the time he was like 10th grade, I think like 6'2", like 230, right? Big kid. He ended up slimming his body, and he was running miles and miles and miles. So I grew up like 6th grade, 7th grade, trying to keep up with that. I'm like, man, there's no way I can run all these miles. And he was just so locked in on the weight room. So I get the weight room stuff. That's why I already came into Syracuse, 18 years old, 205 pounds, the strongest kid, pretty much strongest guard in the country at 18. It comes from my oldest brother, because that's what he was doing. Yeah. My middle brother, I get a lot of my ball handling stuff from him, and like his toughness. He was like a smaller guard, so he had to be like tough, especially younger. Yeah. Obviously, once he got a little bit older, once he probably kind of figured, all right, maybe I'm not gonna be as good as my younger or oldest brother. He's gonna focus on basketball. When he was young though, he was really locked in, and I just remember him just being super tough and strong.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, you take something from both of them, and then you have your uncle that played at Syracuse, Howard, and I've got to know him a lot over the years. It's crazy how much alike you look.
Yeah.
So are you ever out with him anywhere and somebody thinks like that's your dad? Has anybody ever done that?
Everybody says that.
Okay.
I used to watch your dad growing up. I was like, did you? And it's bad because at first I didn't say like that's not my dad, but like I got a good dad, so like I need my dad to take credit for raising me. So initially I was like, oh, like all right, whatever, and you know what I mean. But then even to the point where people would see me and be like, oh, Howie. I'm like, man, listen, he's just like 30 years older than me. There's no way I could be Howie, But we do definitely, and I tell people this, they're like, what parent do you look like, right? Like your mom and your dad, like I look like my uncle. You know what I mean? It's just height, size, body posture, everything. So definitely people still to this day get mistaken and be like, man, I watched your dad in the 80s play. And I'm like, yeah, that's my uncle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So giving credit to mom and dad for raising you, what do you want to say to them?
No, I think I appreciate them. I think as you get older, especially when you are doing stuff more on your own, you see the appreciation that your parents and the sacrifice that they give.
Yeah.
I think just them doing their best, whether it's mentally and physically, I think they did a good job. Like they got 3 kids. All 3 kids got degrees, college degrees. So I think that's a blessing. I don't think too many parents can really say that.
Well, and here you are paying it forward to the community at Game Point. You do so much training here. I don't know if people know, but Triche has, like, you got a loft apartment that nobody knows about that's inside of Game Point, sleeping in here, hammocks and stuff. So how has that been going for you? Because, you've been here since day 0 pretty much with training and whatnot. So what's that been like for you to try to make sure that the future of Central and Upstate New York has what they need?
It's been a blessing. Jim is the owner, and he just, it was just making it a home. Yeah. Like I had gyms where I'm like, okay, I gotta do 2 hours here. I'm gonna drive to this gym, do another hour here, and do 2 hours here, you know what I mean? Yeah. And initially, especially in the summers, there was a lot of free time in the gym. So I was just using it, mainly. 1, it's a great space. 2, I could just call one gym at home, so I'm not confusing parents and say, I thought we were supposed to be on Tuesday at this gym. Like, maybe I messed up. You know what I mean? So that kind of helped. But now training the kids and stuff like that, I think playing basketball was a purpose of mine. Like when I was super young, I think I was just naturally good at it. I picked up things super fast. And I think teaching basketball and being like more of a mentor is another purpose of mine. So I have my individual business of training kids with basketball. Yeah. But also I'm a part of a mental health basketball program called Clinic Kids, which I'm the facilitator for, and like we go through like 4 different city schools. So I think realizing that I have this effect on kids through basketball, through how I talk to them. Yeah. Like I didn't know that until like 2 years ago. Like I'm like, dang, like these kids really take to me, and I didn't really notice that until like recently. Well,
finding your voice, because I was with you when you were at Syracuse and you were playing, and I think people in the media, when they came into the locker room, were trying to gauge, like, are you a talker? Are you more cerebral? There were games where I just look right over at your locker and I'm like, oh, he ain't having it today. But, when did you feel like you kind of found your voice? Yeah.
I started like flat out just like speaking more, probably 26, 27 years old, and making a point to do it. But I made a point to, let's say, be the person to speak first, probably like the last 3 years. Yeah. I think what happens is when the ball stopped bouncing for you, a lot of people use basketball to speak for themselves. Yeah. And once it stopped bouncing for me, which I, knee injuries, I retired, I had to speak up for myself. Yeah. So that's through networking, through saying hello to people and stuff like that. Now, I'm naturally a quiet guy. I naturally can just go to a place and just be alone and be on my phone and just be perfectly fine. Yeah. But it's to a point where you have to be cordial to people. One, you got to be always been respectful to people. But some of it was some social anxiety that comes along with speaking to everybody, people getting to know you, then now they can judge you. I felt like if no one got to know me, then they can't judge me. Yeah. Or have an honest judgment.
Yeah.
So, I definitely just started speaking more and just, like I said, finding my voice. And one of the most important things I did was when things was uncomfortable for me or I feared something, I attacked it head on.
Yeah.
So if it was like public speaking and I knew I had the public speaking, hey, it's 10 of us and who goes first? I'll go first. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'll find a way to just relax myself in that moment. And I kind of started doing that with everything else.
Did you have times like that with Boeheim where you had an opportunity to kind of show him your leadership or show him that you're facing fear head on?
I think my senior year. So my senior year is when I knew I was the captain of the team. I was, my fourth year. Scoop Jardine was in there. I think Rick Jackson, those are the captains. Before that, Andy Routwins was the captain my freshman year. Arenze as well. Yeah. Sophomore year, I'm not even sure who was the captains, to be honest. So I knew just coming into that, my senior year, like I was that guy. And, I appreciated it. So when we had like team conference or the media day,
yeah,
I was the guy that was picked.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I was like, all right, I could do this. You know what I mean? So, and I think it's just other people having confidence in me gave me even more confidence in myself. And like even the Make-A-Wish Foundation speeches and stuff like that, like I was kind of like pushed to the forefront and it was like, it's your time. And so I did that.
Misconception, I feel like you said something interesting. You said, if I don't let people get to know me, they can't judge me with like actually having information. Like people are gonna judge you, like you've been around the media long enough, people judge you, know nothing about you.
Yeah.
But you were like, okay, if people get to know me, then they're making a judgment after knowing something. So many people have given it. I don't know if there's anybody else in Syracuse that people have more of an opinion about other than Jim Boeheim. You worked with him. He was your coach. You chose to go to Syracuse where you could have gone elsewhere. What can you say about what he's meant to you and what that relationship has been from someone who actually does know him, where there's tens of thousands of people that have no idea who he is, never met him before, but they always have a thought?
So my opinion on him is he would do any and everything for his players. So once you become like part of that fraternity,
yeah,
if you just make a call, you don't have to talk to him 15 years. You just make that call like, hey, coach, I needed this. I've been trying to coach here, and he'll make that phone call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you have anything that's on campus that you need, whether it's your academics, whether it's food or something like that, he'll try his best to, make things happen. So I think the misconception would probably be like him being more standoffish.
Yeah.
And, but he loves his players for sure.
Do you think there's a lot of coaches left in the game like that?
I think all the coaches who have I think the tell of that is the alumni that comes back.
Yeah.
When I was, in school, we used to have 15 people, like every game. DC, I don't know, Derek Coleman was at it seemed like every big game he was there. Like he was never not there. And then it'd be other guys. It'd be Moulton, of course, Wallace, and then you have Gene every day. My uncle was there.
Yes, Howard.
Sonny, but you had people traveling in.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to DC, you got Sherman Douglas there. You go to any city that, these guys, and a lot of times we would travel. We go to Florida, Tampa. I don't know why everybody from Syracuse moved to Tampa, but the court.
That's what New Yorkers do, man. We go to Florida.
The arena be filled with orange, and there's so many alums. So I just knew that's what it was. Eton Thomas, those guys. So so he obviously didn't do so bad if these guys continue to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and show love.
Are we missing that now? Do you feel like there's a detachment?
Yeah, man, I think there's a disconnect when it comes to that. I know DC probably going through like health issues and stuff like that. But it's definitely not that many alum coming back for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a school thing. You know, me personally, I just kind of like stay out of it.
Yeah.
I just be like, all right, you call me and you want me to be there, then I'll be there, kind of thing. So I think it's on both sides. I don't know exactly what they were doing before.
Yeah.
That got DC and those guys, even Dave Bing, to come to games. I don't know if they just like, we're gonna have a group chat, or the players gonna do it.
Yeah.
Or like one of the Syracuse GMs, like on the basketball team GMs, do it and connect people.
Yeah.
But even let's say for Lawrence Moulton's tribute on Saturday, I didn't really hear about it, to be honest. Like, I didn't hear nobody talk about it. The only how I knew is because I was getting tickets and it's like, oh, it's Lawrence Moulton tribute, and I'm like, oh wow, I never heard about it. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah. We got it. I mean, the media, we got it. I want to say I got it like a day or two before.
A day or two before.
And I'm like I was very close with Lawrence Moulton.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to do a lot with him. And the last time I saw him, and I want to say something about him and have you say something before we hop out of this, Who's Got Next from Game Point Sports on Wake Up Call. I mean, he just, if we hadn't seen each other in a year or two, and I saw him, and I tapped on his shoulder and he was talking to somebody, he turned around, hey Dan, what's going on? He's like, what's going on, brother? How you doing, brother? And he would give me a hug, he'd look me right in the eye, and I would say, I want to have you back on the show. And he's like, whatever you need, you just give me a call. Like, whatever you got going on. But he just made you feel, and I said this to somebody recently, I was like, he called me brother, and they're like, well, that's because he meant it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to just say something to you and not mean it if he says it.
Yeah.
But I feel like people know him for how he played and what he did on the court. But if you got to actually just sit with him like you and I are doing right now, like, this is the part I love about my job the most, is like, you're larger than life to so many people on the court, but to me, you're just Triche.
Right.
And like, I got to shoot around with you today. That's like beyond my wildest dreams, to hang out with a basketball player that I love and appreciate. But that's how Moulton was to me. Like, I collected his cards, and then he's just hanging out. And his daughters, like, I got to do a show with him and them, and to speak with them about what they wanted to do in their future, to see it happening 11 years later. I'd just love to get your thoughts. I know it was long-winded, but about Lawrence, because I don't know, man, like, I miss just hearing that soft-spoken, hey, brother, how you doing? And shaking my hand and giving me a hug.
Man, it's just like his love and support, it just seemed genuine.
Yeah.
Like, he's I felt like when he says these words about you, like, it means something. One, because of his pedigree on the court.
Yeah.
But just how, like you said, like, his ability to speak to you, speak to his, speak about his peers and stuff like that. Very important. Like, I watched him even speak to other guys, and I actually got to work with him with the mental health program.
With the clinic.
Yeah, clinic kids. And so I was speaking more regular with them, and he'd be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, how your father doing? How your mother doing? Like, how they doing? And like, you know what I mean? And sometimes you give like cliche, oh, they good, but he like, it was genuine. So you give a real answer. You got like an auto answer, but nah, it was just, for me, it was just like the perfect OG. You know what I mean? Perfect legend, perfect guy to look up to. And he bled orange, man. And I think that was super important. He bled orange. Like, he was, at one point, if I seen him 100 times, 99 times he had Syracuse gear on. Yeah. He had Syracuse gear. And Wallace is the same way.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got more Syracuse stuff than him. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and it kind of, those are the guys you look up to when it comes to like what Syracuse alum should be. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you give real answers, right? Because people say, how you doing? And you feel like it's just like a knee-jerk reaction for somebody to say they don't care about your answer. And then what do we always say? Good.
Yeah.
But like, if you're around somebody that you like I'm out there shooting with you, and I would just like shoot, do my thing, but I'm looking to you. It's been on my brain since the last time we did this, where I was like, I want to ask Triche about my form. I want him to tell me if it's wrong. I want him to give me pointers. Like, I allowed myself to be vulnerable because I actually feel like you and I have a relationship. So I'm going to talk to you differently than I'm going to talk to somebody else because I don't feel like you're looking to do anything but help.
Right.
So it's different. Like if you say, how you doing? I'd be like, oh man, you know, I'm exhausted. You know, just had to take my dog to the doctor, like this and that. Like I'm going to be real with you as opposed to just being like, I'm good. It's different.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I think it takes a special kind of person, whether a guy or girl, to be able to get that out of people. Like for you to come across as genuine and they feel comfortable. You know what I mean? So I think Moulton was definitely one of those guys where everybody gravitated towards him because he had like a smoothness about him, you know, and just he had a swagger about himself, in great shape, you know, athletic, and it's like, dang, he's 45, still doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, he just exuded he exuded confidence, and I think a lot of people want to, you know, carry this stuff like that.
Well, and it's funny because I did a video with him years ago at the Mello Center, and I was like, he still got it. Like he was, I was just filming him shooting, and I was like, this dude's like buckets everywhere. Like but you said it right. Like he was smooth. Like he talked to you in a way where he never had to tell you he was good. He never had to tell you what he did. You just talked to him, and like he had that confidence, but it was he never had to speak for himself. Like he never had to be like, oh, this is what I did in my history. You just were like, that's Lawrence Mountain. You know what I mean? Like you felt it from him, and they always say if somebody's good at something, they never have to tell you.
Yeah, because you, like I said, once he's shooting around and you're like, dang, he's 45, like that, he must have been good when he was young. Like it's one of those things. It's like, and I feel like that's how it is when I'm like training younger kids. Like I just play around with them, but they like even the fact that I'm hard to guard for them. You know, again, I'm being 34, almost 35. It's not like I'm old, but you know, my knees. I got I got two ACL surgeries. Got you know, torn cartilage in my right knee. Yeah. But I still can move where they'd be like, wow, you look hard to guard. You know what I mean? So it's like I can imagine what you were doing when you were like fully healthy.
I feel like you're a shark in a way, though. I feel like you just go, my knees, and then you get on the court, and then you just take it to them. I feel like you make
it's
them.
It's a drilling kind of thing. So like once my adrenaline, which is my detriment too, because it's like once it's pumping, I'm good, and then after I'm like, man, why did I do that?
Yeah, but it's like being a pool shark when you tell everybody you don't know how to play pool. That's like how it is that you're like, you know, I was good back then, and then you get out there and you school them a little bit. I don't think there's a bad day for you. You might have a shooting thing where it could be better, or maybe you want it to do a little bit better for yourself. And we always seek to improve, right? Or else we're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. But I don't know, Triche. I feel like you have raw talent that you've honed over the years, that I feel like people are going to be looking at you 45, 55, 60 years old, and they're going to be like, damn, that guy can still make it. Like, he can still shoot. I don't think that's going to leave you, is what I'm saying.
I think when it comes, I didn't realize that when it comes to shooting, even dribbling. But even for me playing, I'm like, one thing I got that I know it translate is my feel for the game. Yeah. So even when I'm playing in the summers, like I played in the summer, I played 5 games, right? This is like 2025 summer, I played 5 games. Before that, right before those 2, like for the last 2 years, I only played two real basketball games. But I played 5 games in one summer, and I'm out there averaging like 8 or 9 assists against the best talent in Syracuse. Yeah. Now, granted, I can't get in enough shape to really score 30 points, although I did have 30 points one game. But I still can pass the ball. Yeah. I can dribble and I can pass. You know what I mean? So, and I could keep it where I know how to manipulate the game. So that's especially one of the things I'm trying to teach a lot of the younger kids. I train some of the top kids in the area, and some of them are really good one-on-one, but they don't always make it look good. They make it look difficult because they don't know how to read the game, right? Once they go past one person, what do I do next? What's my options? Yeah. Like, and even if you choose not to pass, let it be because you're selfish, not because you didn't see it. You know, like I'm not passing the corner, so I'm not. But did you see that he was open? That's all. All right, cool. But the fact that you don't see him is a problem, you know? And then now when you get in trouble, your teammate's not playing for you. So, my feel for the game, I feel like it's like something I can't lose. No, and I think like no matter how much they say the game changes, it doesn't. You know, like there's things that you got to be able to dribble. You got to be able to see the floor. You got to be able to make good decisions, have good timing, know where your teammates are going to be, know their strengths, know their weaknesses. There's things about
playing chess, which I think a lot of teams don't do anymore on the court, and that's why they lose. Because you can watch a team that is fundamentally sound and structured play a street ball team, and this team might be able to get it done on sheer talent 1 or 2 games of the year, but they're not going to win 25. It's going to be that team that knows how to break you down systematically.
I agree. And it's like, even for like when the playoff starts in the NBA, it's like they play so fast, and so many people are injured. Playoffs start, they play slow. It's like they literally lose 20 points a game because it's the playoffs. It's now because these teams, right, they know exactly who you are. They know exactly what you're trying to do. And you got to use, all right, you know that I want to go left, right?
Yeah.
You know, of course I want to go left. But now, I got to figure out how can I make it look like I'm not going left and still go left and still dominate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the things where understanding the game, playing, and thinking the game, right? I think it's super important, especially in the playoffs. You got to think it because you don't have no real advantages now because I know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
There's so many places I want to go, and I always look forward to our next conversation, our next time together. And honestly, the most fun I had today was just being on the floor with you. But the final note is to me the most important one because when you and I were growing up, mental health was treated like suck it up, figure it out, stop being weak. Where now we actually talk about it. There are so many resources that I feel like, you can't run away from it and you can't say it's not there.
Yeah.
So Clinic Kids and what you do and what you got to do with Lawrence Moulton and what you're trying to do to help kids out, what can you say to that effort with Clinic Kids and the importance of mental health?
I think Clinic Kids is very important. So what to the viewers? So Clinic Kids is a program where we take former Division I or pro basketball players as our trainers and mentors, and we connect that with a legal mental health clinician. So essentially we take the kids through basketball stations, right? And then either in the middle we have a break or at the end we have a break depending on how it's set up. But the kids will get snack, water, we'll sit the kids down, we'll teach them like a mental health exercise. So could be pace breathing, could be muscle relaxation or something like that. But it's very important because we break the kids down in small circles, and our coaches, our mentors, we'll talk to the kids and we'll ask them like, when can you use this? How can you use this? You know what I mean? And they'll share stories where they could have used it, stuff like that. So a lot of times it's just hearing our voice, being like an adult and understand that they're heard by us is very important. I think also is making mental health fun. Right? Using it through basketball, using it through something else. You know what I mean? A lot of times people might talk about your mental health when it's all really rocky. But how people rarely ask you, or you really like kind of, let's say, involve yourself in mental health when you don't really need it. You know what I mean? So it could be something small, it could be something big, but everybody needs it, and it's not an age requirement on that. I'm going through the same stuff that they're going through at 5. Maybe it's a different struggle, but when we do our exercises with the kids, I'm doing exercises with them. You know what I mean? Because again, you get older, you have more responsibilities. When you're younger, maybe you don't have as many responsibilities, but you're going through your daily life and the stresses that comes with that.
Yeah, and I think being proactive instead of reactive is what we should lean toward. So with that being said, Brandon Triche from Game Point Sports Complex, 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse. And throughout this video, you saw us shoot, and maybe you saw that we had some fun out there.
Yeah, man, you beat me in a half-court shot, man. I can't believe that. I'm about to get my win back.
Thank you as always.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your friendship more than anything.
Of course, brother.
Make sure you come out here, GamePointSports-SYR.com/courts. Reserve your time now, not just for basketball, volleyball, pickleball, as well as floor hockey, field hockey, cheerleading, and more. We'll see you soon, and make sure that you go in this community and get yourself trained by somebody. I wasn't spoiled enough to have a Brandon Triche, so make sure that you take advantage of that now at Game Point Sports. We'll talk with you soon. Stay safe.